Straub gave these to alums who donated more than $10,000 a year. Tables to Evelyn's left held rounds of triple cremes that were melting into their trays in the May heat. To her right, bottles of white wine and Pellegrino were sweating from the exertion of being outdoors. She noticed ancient alumni toddling by in their varsity sweaters, which they insisted on wearing even in May, and made a mental note. Her bosses at People Like Us would be interested in that. She was turning to go to the field house when there was a squelching sound, and she saw Charlotte approaching, waving 2 boxes of water crackers in triumph in one hand and a styrofoam cup in the other. For such a tiny person, narrow-hipped enough that she often shopped at Gap Kids, Charlotte was leaving enormous gullies in the ground as she took huge steps in her rain boots. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail, but the humidity had created a walnut-brown halo of frizz all around her pale face. "Success," Charlotte said, stomping toward Evelyn. "Babs would have sold me into white slavery had I not found these." "She didn't send you for crackers, did she? I told her not to. Sorry, Char." "Listen, at least water crackers are actually something I can find. I was worried she'd send me to root you out a husband." Charlotte stuck out her tongue, and Evelyn side-kicked her in the shins, but the rubber of the boots made her foot bounce off. "Here," Charlotte said, handing over the styrofoam cup. "Cider." "In May?" "In May," Charlotte mimicked in a British accent. "What, you've been working at People Like Us for a day, and you find the common people's habits confusing?" "I've been working there 3 weeks, Char, and my plan for signing up the nation's elite is already in full effect." Evelyn gestured toward the spectators. "It's basically People Like Us membership sign-up day today. The people here just don't know it yet." "Ah, Charlotte, you located some crackers." Barbara Beegan had re-emerged, casting a blockish shadow over the girls. Her pedicured toes were strapped into flat sandals, which merged into pleated powder-blue pants with sturdy thighs bulging within, up to a crisp white Oxford. She ended in dry, butter-colored hair arranged in thick, fat waves and a pair of big black sunglasses. In her prime, after a diet based on green apples, Barbara Beegan had been thin. Now she was the kind of stout woman who covered up the extra weight with precisely tailored clothes. She smelled, as she always did, of leather. She frowned as she examined the boxes. "These have pepper in them, though." Charlotte made a silent monk-scream face at Evelyn. "Well, Mrs. Beegan, they were all I could find." "They'll have to do, I suppose," Barbara said, looking over Charlotte's head. "Say thank you, Mom," Evelyn said. "Yes, thank you," Barbara said listlessly, and opened a box to begin arranging the crackers in a semicircle. "I live to serve," Charlotte said, bowing briefly. "Oh, there's Mr. Marchand from Prep Your History. Do you think he's still mad at me from when I reenacted the defenestration of Prague with his snow globe? I'm just going to say hi, back in a jiff." Evelyn took the opportunity to slip away. Second Field's grass had turned muddy and choppy with tire tracks and tree-torn tracks. Charlotte was smart to wear boots, and Evelyn picked her way over the chewed-up terrain to the field house. She watched in amusement as one alum tried to rein in a toddler while wiping down a Labrador who had apparently been swimming in the Ammonoosuc, but when the alum looked at her, she quickly coughed and looked away. In the 8 years since she'd graduated, she had not been back to Sheffield much, not wanting to see her classmates boasting about their children and jobs and weddings, while Evelyn muddled along with her textbook marketing job. Barbara, on the other hand, had been a steadfast alumna, despite not actually attending Sheffield, and every year would call up Evelyn, pushing her to go to the Sheffield Enfield, and every year Evelyn would say no. Evelyn's penance for this resistance was a recurring lecture about how she was aging and needed to meet someone soon and shouldn't give up chances to meet eligible alumni. This year, though, was different. After the textbook publisher laid her off a few months ago, she'd managed to talk her way into a job at People Like Us, a social networking site aimed at the elite's elite. Even Charlotte, who was brilliant about business, thought that social networking sites were going to be huge, and Evelyn